This section explains that confidence intervals and hypothesis testing are closely related methods used in statistics, although they serve slightly different purposes. Confidence interval estimates a range of likely values for a population parameter, like the mean, while the hypothesis testing is test whether a specific claim about a parameter is likely true or false. But how are they connected? They both help you make decisions about a population parameter based on sample data. You can use a confidence interval to draw a hypothesis testing conclusions. For example, you're testing if the average cereal fill weight is different from 368 grams. So this is the sample data. Sample size is 25, sample mean 372.5, population standard deviation 15, significance level is 0.5, which corresponds to a 95% confidence level. So the interval is 366.62 less than or equal to population mean to 378.38. Because the interval includes the hypothesized value of 368 grams, you do not reach the null hypothesis. There's insufficient evidence that the mean fill amount over the entire filling process is not 368 grams. You reach the same decision by using two-tailed hypothesis testing. This part points out that in real-world situations, it's rare to know the population standard deviation. Why? If you knew population standard deviation, you'd probably also know a lot about the population already, like the mean, making testing unnecessary. So this kind of hypothesis test, which assumes population deviation is known, is mostly used for teaching purposes, not in most practical business or research settings. So why we still learn it? It helps understand core statistical ideas like sampling distributions, how variation affects decision making, and it gives you a foundation to later learn more realistic testing methods, like using t-test, which estimate standard deviation from the sample. So, for example, in practice, you'd often use a t distribution instead of z distribution because the population standard deviation is unknown. But for learning, using population standard deviation lets you focus on how hypothesis testing works and use a normal distribution tables to calculate p-values or confidence intervals.
So, good day. I am John Mark, and then now let's continue. Or we are on the 9.2 or the t test of hypothesis for the mean. The standard is unknown. In this discussion, or in t test hypothesis for the mean, in virtually all hypothesis testing situation concerning the population mean, and then you do not know the population standard deviation. Instead, you use the sample standard deviation as is if you assume that the population is normally distributed. The sampling distribution of the mean follows a distribution with degrees of freedom, and you use the t-test for the mean. If the population is not normally distributed, you can still use the t-test if the sample size is large enough for a central limit theorem to take effect. And naa siya dito sa section 7.4 equation 9.2 defines the test statistic for determining the difference between the sample mean and the population mean when using the sample standard deviation M and S. So to illustrate where the statistic follow as t-distribution having n-1 degree of freedom. So to illustrate the use of the t-test for the mean returns to the chapter 8 Saxon Home Improve meant scenarios in page 279. The business objectives is to determine whether the mean amount per sale is invoiced in unchanged from the $120 for the past few years. As a accountant for the company, you need to determine whether this amount change in other words, the hypothesis test is used to try to determine whether the mean amount per sale invoice is increasing or decreasing. And then, so in critical value approach, so to perform this two-tailed hypothesis test, you use the 6-step method listed in Exhibit 9.1 on page 332. So, step 1, i-define sa nato ang hypothesis, which is, ang hypothesis nato diri is for the null hypothesis is the mean is equals to $20, $120, and the alternative hypothesis is the H1 is equals to mean is not equal to $120. So in step 2, i-collect na to ang data from the sample of the sales invoice. So nag-decide ta to use the n is equals to 12 and a is equals to 0.05. And step 3, because the population standard deviation was unknown, we use a t distribution and the test statistic. You must assume that the population of the sales invoice is normally distributed because sample size of 12 is too small for the central limit theorem to take effect. This assumption in discussion on page 340. So step 4 is for a given sample size n, and the test statistic follow at distribution with n is equals to n, or the sample size is equals to 1 degree of freedom. This critical value of the t distribution with degree of freedom are found in table E3 as illustrated in table 9.2 and figure 9.6. The alternative hypothesis has two-tail. The area in the rejection region of the t distribution's left lower tail is 0.25, and the area in the rejection region of the t distribution right upper tail is also 0.025. So para mas masabtan na to, in diri na ta sa determining critical value from the t table for an area of 0.025 in each tail with 11 degree of freedom. So 11 degree is atong kuan kaganiya is 12. So minus na to sa atong sample size, which is ang sample size nato n is equals 1. So i-minus nato siya, mahimo siyang 11. So pakitaan nato siya sa degree of freedom dito ta sa 11 mo straight. And then kaning 0.025, which is nakuha ni siya atong kay ang atong critical limit theorem man is ay ang atong kanang assumption higher confidence na to is 95%, as kanang na sa previous is mong gaman itong igamit, so 95%, or DC is equals to 0.9 0.975. So 1 minus 1 minus 0.975 is equals to 0.05. So 0. Sa ato ang two-tailed test is katong graph nga ana. So diri sa ato ang graph dire is ang tungaon na to tong 0.05, since two-tailed ang atong igamit sa PCAS, and sa FICAS sa region of rejection, which is 0.025, and sa FICAS is 0.025. Then ang atong tunga is ang 0.95. So muna siya ang tunga is the region of non-rejection, while katong gibutang natong 0.025 and sa left and right is the region of rejection. So ang tunga is ang ato ang mean. So muna sila. So determine the critical value from the table for the area of 0.025 mo na siya 0.025 in each tail. So atong makitaon diri si decrease of freedom si number 11. So pangitaon din nato diri sa taas ang natay 1.25, 1.010, we have 0.05 and also ang 0.25. So pangitaon na nato is rate. So naadra si 2.2010. So dito sa testing of hypothesis about the mean and standard population standard deviation was unknown at the 0.05 level of significance. Diri na to ang ginamin ganiha is left and right is naman tayo 0.05 which is katong 1 ay katong alpha 1 minus 95% or the 0.975 is equals to 0.05. So ato silang ibahin in total man nato gamiton. So sa ato ang graph sa PCAS is 0.25 and then sa PCAS is 0.25 also. So kay nakita naman nato ni kaganiha diri sa right diri sa left side is kaning negative 2.2010 and then sa PCAS is plus 2.2010. So and next, so in step 5 involving organizing the storing data from random sample of 12 cells invoice, the data include the following value. Munis lang mga following value which is atong i-compute. Then pag-compute na to, dili na rin itong musulod tong first atong akuan kanang atong formula which is ang t stat is equals to x minus the population mean over s or the standard deviation or the population standard deviation over square root of sample size or the n. So first is 112.85 minus 120 which is ang atong mean, and then over 20.80 and then over square root of 12 is equals to negative 1.1908. To conclude, since negative 2.2010 is less than negative 1.1908 and greater than to 2.2010, so dili na to i-reject si null hypothesis. To conclusion, there is an insufficient evidence to prove that the mean amount per cell invoice differs from the long-term mean of $120,000. So dili na to reject. We're going to the p-value. So hypothetical data and setup. So kani siya nga approach is let's assume we have the sample of 12 sale invoice, the sample mean, and then the sample mean is 100. Sample mean is $127.15. The sample standard deviation is 7.15. The null hypothesis is that the true population mean, which is $120. The alternative hypothesis is that the true population mean is not equal to 120. A two-tailed test, so kani siya is two-tailed test na pod, will use a significant level of same kaganiya is same sa t-test which is 0.05. So first step to third step is same as the t-test nga step. So first step is i-define na to ang hypothesis, which is sa kato hypothesis during a problem diri is for the null hypothesis is mean is equals to 20 and the alternative hypothesis is not equal to 120. And then step 2 is calculate test statistic. We use the test statistic since the population standard deviation is unknown, where sample mean is equals to 127.15. Hypothesis population mean is 120, and then sample standard deviation is 7.15, and n, or the sample size, is equals to 12. So these are the computation, which is t is equals to 127.15 minus 120, which is the hypothesis population, times 7.15 divided by 12 is approximately equals to 2.19. So kina-determine naman na to. Step 3, determine the p-value. That statistic approximately 2.19. Since this total test, we need to find the probability of the observing a t-value greater than 2.19 or less than negative 2.19 with 11 degree of freedom, because n minus 1 is equals to 12 minus 1 is equals to 11. You will typically use the table of statistical software to find this p-value to provide the statistic. The p-value is 0.05. So instead, for make the decision, we compare the p-value to the significance level alpha 0.05. If p-value alpha fail to reject null hypothesis, in our example, using the provide p-value of 0.05 approximately to alpha, while the text state the p-value is 0.2588, and the null hypothesis is not reject is this hypothetical scenario with a p-value of 0.05. We will reject the null hypothesis at the 0.05 significance level. There's enough evidence that suggestion the mean invoice amount different from $120,000 step by step.